ESPN released their football power index before the season this week, the FPI. You can argue whether or not you take a lot of stock in it. I don't take a ton in it, but it is kind of interesting to look at and see, I guess, where the computers view Michigan and a bunch of other teams in the Big Ten. So we're going to go through a couple of the numbers. They give percentage chances to make a bowl, win the Big Ten, make the playoff, make the national championship game, win the national championship. Anthony, I'm going to give you the number, and we're going to each give our opinion on, is it too high, too low, just right? But just before we do that, Michigan's number 17 in there in the country, 29th toughest schedule in the nation, 11th toughest in the Big Ten. So a lot of teams in the Big Ten playing challenging schedule. So actually back half of the Big Ten in terms of toughest schedule. So that works in their favor. They had one of the most difficult roads in college football, of course, last season. So they deserve a little bit of a break, but you never know how some of these teams are before the
sorry,
season.
Not to interrupt. I have to check on this. Were they the only team in the regular season to play 4 playoff teams?
They had to be. Maybe Florida. Florida had a ridiculous schedule as well, right?
I'll look that up right now. But sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all. I do need you, though, to answer these. So let's start with being bowl eligible. 94.2% chance to win 6 games, make a bowl. I guess you could make a bowl at 5 wins, but this is specifically 6+ wins in the regular season. 94.2%. Anthony, is that too high, too low, or just right?
What was the exact number again?
94.2.
Oh, it's too low. I don't think we're going to be, there's a point last year where we were sitting here sweating out bowl eligibility, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think that they're going to I think they have 6 wins on their schedule. I don't want to call them scheduled wins. It's disrespectful to the opponent, but you got 6 you feel pretty good about, and then that has you in a bowl game regardless. And I think they are capable of at least 2 to 3 more wins than that. So, yeah, too low.
I think there are 4 pretty much locks, and then I agree with you that there are and depending on who it is, how good these teams end up being, a couple more that get you there for sure. So 94.2, that is pretty high. I'll say just right. I don't know. Would it be a couple percentage more, couple less? I'm not sure. So I'll say just right. Winning the Big Ten, 6% chance to win the Big Ten. Is that too high, too low, or just right?
If you're, that feels right. I don't, I think Penn State is the best team in the Big Ten this year. I think they have the most talent. I think they will win this conference. Ohio State has more talent, I think, in the aggregate. Oregon has, a good amount of talent as well. 6% is low, but for the purposes of their 18 teams, the top 2 teams in the conference are going to the Big Ten title game. 6%, I think, feels right. And that's probably, I'd have to imagine, one of the 3 or 4 highest odds in the Big Ten of winning the conference.
Yeah, it is let me double check this. It is the 4th behind Ohio State, has a 40.3% chance of winning it. Penn State at 25.1 and Oregon at 19.1. Probably putting too much. I'd say Ohio State's is probably too high for sure, given the reasons you listed about Penn State. Michigan, I'll say a little too low. I think if this season played out 10 times, they may win the Big Ten, one of them. But it is hard, like you said. It's not just getting there anymore. It used to be just getting to the Big Ten championship game. If you were a team from the East, you were going to win. The West never won after they split between legends and leaders. But now it's another really challenging game once you get to Indy. So I'll say a little too low, but I think that's somewhat fair.
By the way, Florida played 3 playoff teams last year. They played Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee.
So it's still crazy that Michigan played that many. Michigan played what? Indiana, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon. It's nuts. I can't believe that schedule happened.
And the one win they had was against the, who would go on to win the national title, which is even crazier.
It's insane. To make the college football playoff, Michigan at 25.3% chance Is that just right, too high, or too low?
That feels just right to me because I think they're going to be on the edge of it. Yeah, that feels. You're basically saying you have a 1 in 4 chance of winning. I think 10 games gets you in, so that feels right.
I got this as too low. Some of it has to do with the schedule, and we'll see how some of these teams are because, like, we talked about it on Monday. We've mentioned it a couple times today. Like, there are some teams on there that you just don't know what they're going to be, and you have 6 road games. 4 of them look a lot harder than the other 2, Northwestern and Maryland.
We have
really
6.
Michigan State's not that tough
They
yet,
have
but
6 road games. They're going to go play a Michigan-friendly crowd at Wrigley, and they're going to play in a Michigan-friendly crowd at Maryland. But I digress.
No, totally. And the last time we were in East Lansing for a football game, it was, I mean, especially by the end, very pro Michigan. That was an extreme case. I mean, they had fired their coach. Michigan was on an absolute warpath, finished undefeated, won the national championship. But it can turn into that depending on how, what direction each of those programs goes each, before that game happens in October. But I'm going to say too low. I think Michigan making the playoff is much closer to a 50-50 proposition than 25.3. I wouldn't maybe put it at 50, although I think that they are going to make the playoff as of June 5th, subject to change. But I think it's higher. I think it should be higher. This one's damn near impossible to really do because you have to figure out what your matchups would be in all these different college football playoff game scenarios. But FPI has Michigan with a 1% chance to win the national championship, a 2.6% chance to make the national championship game. What are your thoughts on that? Too high, too low, or just right for those 2 numbers?
I just feel like you put the block M and the talent you have, and to me, that's 1.6% or whatever it was. It's higher. To me, it's a little too low for both of those, just because it's a young team. I think the more games this team does play this year, I think the better they'll be, just because you do have a guy in Bryce Underwood who, by the time October, November rolls around, this guy's almost been playing college football for almost a year. So I think it's a little too low, to be honest with you, because once you get into the 12-team playoff, anything can happen. Even if you get in a year where normally in any other format you wouldn't have been, you could still have a shot to get rolling.
Yeah, I think I guess this is a trend, and maybe who knows? Because we're not going through every team and saying what their percentage is, so the math may not add up. I'll say it's a little too low as well, even if it's by 0.1. I mean, what was Notre Dame's chance to make the national championship game last season? Probably a little bit higher than this. They ended up doing it. And they certainly had, going into that game, more than a 1% chance to win it all too. So I'm going to go with this is a little bit too low. I know I've said that for, I think, all but one of these, but that's kind of where I'm at. I think the computers are a little lower on Michigan than I am. But in FPI, a lot of people rail on it. It's fine. I don't care about this at all in terms of oh shoot, I thought Michigan was going to be good, but now FPI says they're 17. So damn. But it's kind of fun to just look at these numbers and give our own opinions because we're not computers. And
yeah, if we're being honest, I only said that was too low on the last one because I said it was just right on all the other ones. So
that's fair.
You can put as much stock into how I feel about the numbers as the number themselves.
I mean, that's fair.